Hey y'all, welcome to Strip Down with Marianne. I am Marianne. Thank you so much for joining me. Check out my fancy digs, y'all. This is obviously not where I stay, but I get to borrow this for a little bit, so this is awesome. Um, Anyhow, hi, I'm Marianne. Welcome to the show. Let me introduce myself. I am a survivor of childhood physical abuse, emotional abuse, sexual abuse, spiritual abuse, and financial abuse, and then also human trafficking. All those things are interconnected. And so that's what I talk about. This is also my trigger warning because that is what I talk about. So if I say anything today that touches you in a way that does not feel good, please reach out to safe people in your area. And if you don't know who those people are, please reach out to me and I will help you find safe people in your area. So thank you. Thank you. Oh, y'all, I'm on TikTok. I'm super excited. I've only done 2 videos so far, but my plan is to do some after this. So I'm on TikTok. It is at Doc Marianne. That is at the at symbol, right? DOCMARIANNE. Okay, at Doc Marianne, and you can follow me and I will follow you back. And share with me what you like on TikTok because I'm new to all of this. Y'all know that. So thanks for coming. Today is episode 8, and we're going to talk about making a phone call. If you don't identify as one of those things that I talked about, maybe this sounds like a silly thing to you, right? But I know that for my survivor sisters and brothers, they're going to say, yes, let's please talk about this. I talk to people who identify like that daily, right? And so this comes up more often than you think that oh my gosh, if I could just make this phone call. Oh my gosh, if I would have just made this phone call, right? And frequently when people want to help us, they want to tell us to make a phone call. So we're going to talk about some of the things that survivors really struggle with doing. And then we're going to talk about how organizations and friends and family usually react and then help everybody find a common middle ground today. That's what we're going to talk about today. So let's start off right off the bat. I like to live my life transparently, as much as is safe. But I just feel like I have to be honest so that you all can be honest, right? That it takes all of us being willing to just rip off band-aids and say this is what it is. And that's what this podcast is about. And so here we go. I've got my own band-aid this week, y'all. So I can't make phone calls. I still can't. I know it's been 20 flipping years since I got out of the life, but I can run organizations. I can make work phone calls. If you're a survivor and you need me, I can make phone calls for you all day long. If you are somebody else, I can do it for you. I can tell you how to do it. I can tell me how to do it. But there are certain areas in my life that I still struggle with actually picking up the phone and making that call myself. And so that is what we are talking about today. That this happened to me. So this happened to me recently, that had I made a phone call, if I just would have picked up the phone, I could have avoided a whole lot of grief, a whole lot of hassle, right? And even a whole lot of financial issues if I just would have picked up a flippin' phone. And it sounds so easy. And I know that if you came from those childhood pervasive abuses, you probably have a similar thing. One of our life skills from our early development did not click in right, whether we were not trained well, whether it was our stunting of our growth in our brain because of the trauma we were experiencing at that stage in our life, whatever it is, we have these places where we're just stuck, right? I also can't do car stuff. Anybody who knows me, just hold my hand to do a car thing, please. I don't ask for much, y'all. Well, I probably do. So let's talk about other things that survivors really struggle with, right? I have struggled with in the past, and maybe you do too. Phone calls, right? Can't pick up the phone. Friends of mine, even this week, have said the same thing to me. Man, I need to make a phone call. And I can tell them all day long, well, baby girl, go make that call, right? Go make that call. Here's what you'll say. Here's what they'll probably say. Let me walk you through it. I can do all that for her. But when it was my phone call, I couldn't do that for me. I knew, right, what I should do and what I should say, but I couldn't actually pick up the phone and do it. Nor could I ask someone else for help in that moment. And so that's going to be another show, y'all. So today we're going to talk about the things we can't do, right? And because we're being transparent with each other, next week we're going to have part 2 of this, and we're going to talk about accountability, right? Because the part 2 of my situation is, if I just would have called somebody, they would have helped me. I have lots of good people in my life who understand my brain, that if they understood what was happening, all I had to do was call them. Any one of them would have helped me, but no, I don't. So here we are. So I'm going to learn to do better as you are learning to do better as well. I told y'all it's a journey. I told y'all we're not done. We're never done. We're never done, guys. So phone calls. It's hard, right? It's hard to do. It's hard to make certain phone calls. Not all phone calls, but certain phone calls are just hard. I come from maybe a different generation than you all come from. And my big thing when I was younger was checking the mail. Boy, I did not want to check the mail. I was afraid of what was going to be in the mail, right? And even sad about what wasn't going to be in the mail sometimes. And that whole mail thing, I couldn't do it, right? When I was struggling with money and with bills and with everything else, those notices in the mail were like a slap in the face every single time, and I just couldn't, right? And so even after I figured that out and somebody helped me learn how to budget and do all of those things, I still didn't want to check the mail, even though nothing scary was in the mail anymore, right? Trauma response, right? And so I had to learn how to do that. Y'all, there was a time in my life, I'm sure some people out there can relate. There was a time in my life where I lived in a condominium. So you had that community area where the mailboxes were, and they were big metal mailboxes, and you had a little key. And I would not check my mail, would not. And the mailman, oh, poor man, had to put a note on my door and tell me that I would no longer get mail delivery service because my mailbox was so full for so long and he could not shove anything else in it and he was done. So mail, right? Some of us might not relate to the mail, but you might relate to this piece. What about email? Are you afraid to open your email because of what's on the other side? Do you hesitate to respond to emails because it feels overwhelming to write out that response, to send it out? You know, is just the sheer number sitting there in front of you too overwhelming that you can't even open the flipping thing, right? Email, that's something that we struggle with. And if I can't make a phone call and I'm not going to check my mailbox and that email flashing up there in the thousands, I don't know how y'all do that. Honestly, that gives me some sort of anxiety. I'd love to clear out your email for you. But that number flashing up there, all that leads up to, well, if I can't do any of that, how do I make appointments, right? And even if I can manage to make the appointment, how the F am I getting to the appointment? It doesn't matter if I have a car. Something will get in the way of the appointment. Something will, right? And so those are things that we struggle with because of our brain, because of either things that were never taught to us or not taught to us well, or our brain couldn't grasp it in the middle of everything else that was happening in that moment, right? And so we have stuff there that makes it hard. And then all these people want to help us, right? They want to help us. They have big hearts, whether it be an organization or your friends or your family. And what is the first thing they say? Well, if you go call so-and-so, and make an appointment, then they can help you. They're amazing. That's an amazing therapist. Even your therapist might say, well, here's your homework for the week. Well, baby, I can't even make the phone call. How am I going to do all that, right? And then resource centers, oh my, they give you like a list of referrals, and they say, or you call, in our state, we have a number we can call 211 and get information on what's going on, right? And so if you have something like that, they give you this whole giant list of numbers you can call. If you look it up online, resources in my area, this giant list that is overwhelming. And then they want us to sift through it all and figure out who's the one we need. Well, I stopped when I saw the sheer number of names or phone numbers or whatever, right? And so the way people are trying to help us is not reaching us. It's just not. It's like pouring more on top of us. It makes it harder for us. We need easy on-ramps, y'all. Anyone who has heard me tell my story, everyone, I say every week, hi, I'm a survivor of human trafficking. Excuse me. And so part of my living the life story is there was a person who had to literally, y'all, like take me by the hand so I wouldn't run, and walk me up the stairs to the college, had to walk me to the registration desk, had to even tell me what to say, okay, speak for me sometimes, because I go mute when it's too much. And so had to really help me every step of the way, had to walk me to the bookstore, had to show me how to find books, had to walk me to my first day of class. Y'all, he put me in the wrong class. He put me in the wrong class, y'all. Oh my gosh, it was awful. But I survived, obviously. But had that not happened, had all that not happened, I would have stopped, right? I would have ran. All of those survival skills would have kicked in. And all of those survival skills kick in to protect us of things. And we feel all of those same things about the mail or the email or the phone calls. All of those same things, all that self-talk in our head, all of that's coming together all at once into this big giant ball of, oh my gosh, I cannot do this. And so organizations, here's what I want you to do. Here's what I want you to do. And if you're a survivor, they're not doing it for you. Okay, bro? They're not. That's not their job. They're not there to do it for you unless you are in a state where you physically, literally cannot do it for yourself. Okay? We have to do the work. It's not on them. So, first of all, do it with us, right? If there's a phone call to be had, one of my favorite ways is put the phone on the table, put it on speaker, we dial the number together, and then watch me, okay? Watch my face, watch my reactions, watch and see if I'm dissociating. Am I even in the flipping room anymore, right? Make sure I'm here, make sure I'm paying attention, make sure I'm getting it all, whatever my way of soaking it in, make sure I'm doing it. And if you see that something is off, that I'm not getting it, or I'm dissociating too much, or something's not getting through, please hit mute. Talk to me so the people cannot hear, and say, hey, are you here? Do you know what's going on? Do you need help with this? This is what they are saying. What do you want to say in return? Let me practice if I need to. They can sit on mute, y'all. They won't hang up. They can sit on mute for a second. They might say, ma'am, but they'll be fine. They'll be fine. So do it with us, right? Do it alongside us. If you're not here with us, you can always call me and coach me and walk me through. Let me practice. Let me role play a whole lot, right? Let me practice all the weirdo questions that come up in my head out on you. Because when you say something and my brain fires, and I see a million different situations that maybe never occurred to you because you don't live in my world, right? So make sure that I practice all that on you, and then you tell me, okay, yeah, this makes sense, that makes sense, talk to them about this, here, I can answer this part for you, stuff like that, right? And help us out before the call even happens. Help us do the email, right? Help us walk through the email, especially if you need to sit side by side with us. If there's 1,000 of them and the number's too overwhelming, you can help us sit side by side, pick out spam, get rid of that right away, stuff like that. Help us flag things to go back, and really take our time to do it. Or if there's an email that we need to send, maybe we need to send it to you first and have you check it over and let us know if our message is being heard in the way we want it to be heard, right? Or maybe you can sit with us and help us compose it if we're at that state. My very good friend and very intelligent therapist, she's amazing. She very wisely coached me to type out my emails and then wait. Again, people will be fine. We're not doing life or death over email usually, right? That's usually, it will be okay. And so wait before you hit that send button. Go back an hour later, go out. For me, I'm an earthing kind of girl. Y'all know that. Go outside, walk around, put your feet in the grass, whatever you have to do. I also live in Florida. I get it if you're in the snow. But get that, do whatever you have to do to kind of center yourself again and then come back to it. And then see if you can't figure it out yourself. There's no shame in asking for help, y'all. There's no shame in asking for help. I have my people that I know I can ask for help any given moment and for anything. And I'm very good at doing it for a lot of things now, And any one of them will tell you I've come a long, long way, that we went from 0 to now sometimes. And so that's one of those things I'm still working on, right? I'm working on it. Y'all are working on it. We're just going to work on it together. And then finally, for those appointments, if I can't get there, I don't care if I have a car. That makes no difference. Something is stopping me from getting up and going. Please pick me up. Come get me. Go with me. Y'all, I broke my hand a couple years back. Did not go to the doctor for a week. It was definitely broke. My daughter-in-law's a nurse. She told me it was broke. And so it was definitely broke. And the idea of walking into the doctor's office was more than I was willing to do. And it hurt like the dickens, y'all. Like so bad, like bad. Bad. But I just couldn't bring myself to go until people were like, okay, come on now, we really have to go do this. But we all need that, right? We all still need that sometimes. So if I can't do it myself, please just take me. Please just take me. Guys, thank you. I am so happy. I'm so happy my survivor friends are here, and I know that you are relating to this because y'all are giving me the feedback, and I appreciate that so much. Organizations, I hope that you are also learning from this. If you're somebody who loves us, I hope that this is doing something for you also. So podcast every single week, guys. I think it's on Apple now, and then Spotify, and of course Buzzsprout. And then anywhere else, if you want it to be, maybe I don't know those platforms, just reach out to me. I'll gladly do it. Stripped Down at Marianne, wherever you want to listen to podcasts. YouTube, that channel is also Stripped Down with Marianne. You can go over there if you would like to see my bright, shiny face. You can go over there and watch me in action. It's a ton of fun, y'all. And then I decided to not do the shorts so much on YouTube. I'm sure I will at some point, but right now we're going to keep my brain on some sort of control level. But I am doing some shorts over at TikTok, so much shorter shorts than what I intended for the YouTube channel. But go over to TikTok. I think that's a fun app too. So check that out. And remember, that is at Doc Marianne. If you don't know how to spell my name, it's all over the podcast. You can find it. And then Instagram is My Name, My Voice, which is my parent organization, which pays my bills and allows me to do this for you all. Check me out over there and you'll see what I'm up to, both professionally and then a little bit about me, the me outside of all this, and then stuff for you all too. And then of course, if you are an organization and this spoke to you, you said, you know what? I would like to do it better. I would like to have an HT anti-trafficking program, or I have one. I would like to do it better. Or I just come in contact with people who have a lot of trauma, right? The homeless or the addicted. Call me. I would love to help you. That's what I do. I do consultations, either like one and done, or we can do ongoing for as long as you need. I can help you build a program if you have not started one yet and you want to. I can teach you how to do that and get you up and running so you're on your own. Or if you're already up and running and you just want some guidance on what you're doing, I also help your staff understand us a little bit better. Thank you all so much for joining me today. This has been my true pleasure. Peace.